Hey everyone, this is an excerpt from my second interview with Ali Moen Afshari. For those of you who are not familiar with him or his work, he is a professional trader, he's a professional trading educator, and he's also the CEO of Quant Systems. Quant Systems has a whole host of professional trading programs, with the newest one being Trade With Me. Trade With Me will give you an opportunity to watch Ali trade live based on the fundamentals of market behavior. He's going to teach 6 hours of content every month based on the first principles of market behavior and then trade at the end of each month to give you an inside look at how to execute based on those first principles. Ali has taught and traded live in front of hundreds of people, but only at exclusive workshops. And now he's finally bringing that opportunity to the public. So if that's something that interests you, check out the link in the description to learn more. The beginner taking 5 trades a day, trying to make 0.5% a day, and then going to intermediate at 8 trades, and expert at 20 trades. You're taking more trades, you're getting better at your craft. So you're going to increase your probability. You're going to avoid more losers, obviously. When it comes to just scaling up the amount, is it true that if you can make $100 a day, or if you can make $250 a day, that you can make $20,000 a day? Is the scaling up that simple, that it's just the same buttons that create that multiple of income, or are there other factors at play? And what have you experienced in your journey?
Well, it's harder than it sounds, but at the same time, there's a technique to get around the difficulties. So this happened to me in a very bizarre way, and might be interesting to talk about it. So in 2019, one of my friends and I started an investment company, and the initial run-up to produce the equity curve that you need for your marketing, we were working with some friends who were our early investors, and I put in some money, everybody put in some money, and the end result was that my trading account went from 6 figures to 7 figures and higher in a really, really short period of time. So I was trading comfortably my own account at the size that I'm comfortable trading. But then all of a sudden I was responsible for this much larger account without the run up to get to that point that you normally get to when you're trading your own account. So let's say your growth rate is whatever, 0.5% a day. You take some money out of your account for your expenses. So it takes, I don't know, like a year to double your account or a little bit more. Let's say the doubling happens every week. So this week it's double the last week. Next week is going to be double, and the week after that's going to be double. So you're going to end up with like 8 or 10 times your trading account, you're comfortable trading. And you have investors, so you have promised them that you're going to be trading their accounts. So position size goes up tremendously without the time to really ease yourself into that higher position size and bigger risk numbers and the numbers that you see on the screen. To give you an example, a good day for a trader who trades a 6-figure account can be, I don't know, $5,000 to $10,000 profit at the end of the day. For a trader who trades a 7-figure account, $10,000 is the open risk on an open position intraday.
Wow.
And then you have to take 10 or 15 of them, because at that level, you're scaling in and out. So you're building a position and you're scaling out of it. And that means your risk, as you're building the position, your risk is incrementally going up as you add new contracts to your position.
Right.
And I was trading during the COVID crash, so market was very volatile at the time. We had 5-minute bars in one day that was 60 points tall. That was just one bar, one 5-minute bar. So imagine that you're trading the sizes that you're completely uncomfortable trading in a market volatility that's unprecedented. Like, you don't typically trade in that kind of a volatile market. That quickly pushes you to ignore the numbers and just focus on percentages.
Right.
And if somebody can do that, it's one of the best ways to achieve higher levels of success as a trader. because you wouldn't be bogged down by how many dollars are on the line right now. And some trading platforms, like for example, TradeStation or multi-charts, you can configure the price ladder to not show you dollars, but show you ticks or points. And I think that's necessary. And that's what I did. So you deviate from looking at dollars to look at points, because points are going to be the same. If you're looking for a 5-point trade, it's 5-point trade. It's just that your position size translates that 5 points into a few $100 or tens of thousands of dollars. That's irrelevant.
Right.
But the psychology of it is actually not irrelevant. The psychology of it is very taxing on the trader. Now, I talked about the negatives, but let's talk about the positives too. Whatever you expose yourself to, you're going to get used to it. So the question here is, do you see it in yourself to push yourself and stretch yourself to the point that is uncomfortable and stay in that uncomfortable zone long enough for you to get comfortable with the uncomfortable? The easy way is to not look at the dollar values, just look at points and try to hold your trades to get the number of points that you want to get based on your process.
Right.
The other way is to, some people are more comfortable to look at the dollars. That is a closer thing to their heart. They can understand it better. If you are in that group, you just have to push yourself and be okay with the stretch, because you cannot grow if you do not stretch yourself, which means you have to constantly stretch yourself.
So the one option is to take the money out of it, look at points, percentages, don't look at your P&L on your screen, just focus on the process. And there's another approach, which is just the brute force of just experiencing it, sitting with it, becoming used to it. I guess in that case, maybe smaller increments at a time would allow you to stretch more slowly and get more comfortable over time.
Yep.
You obviously didn't have that luxury because it happened really quickly for you. But is that a viable way that you just push yourself? Like, I think some people feel the discomfort and it's like, oh, maybe I shouldn't be doing it this way. But would you argue that there is a level of pushing yourself past your comfort zone so you can get used to it? Is that fair?
You have to, yeah. So I think the enabler really is the process rather than the numbers or your trading, because the process you put in place for your trading is ultimately what's going to dictate what the number is going to be. The more confidence you have in that process, the more confidence you will have in your execution, because you know that the process is sound. If I just shut down what I think right now and just follow my process, it's going to be okay. So that makes the execution a lot easier. But that's a stretch anyways. When you go from research and theory into implementation, that's a stretch. And a lot of people find, new aspects of their personality when they start to face the execution part of the systematic trading. But you get used to that too. That is one of the stretch things that you have to go through. Now, let's say the combined process and execution is now, implemented in, enough repetitions, enough cycles that now you have confidence in it. Now you look and say, okay, I'm good with the process. I'm good with my execution. I can trust myself. At that point, it will really help if you don't look at dollar values. Just look at points or percentages. And don't even think about the dollar values. It's like, let's say a doctor or an engineer goes to work every day. What is the focus? Income or the job? It's the job, right? The doctor wants to help the patients. The engineer wants to make sure the project goes one step ahead and achieves the milestones in the project plan. But both of them get paid at the end of the day. But they get paid for doing a good job, right? So your job as a trader is just to follow an established process that you have confidence in without regard to how many dollars are won or lost. That's irrelevant. At the end of the day, when you look at your account, it's probably going to be positive if you do that. But if you don't do it and the focus is on the money, you will probably not make the money.
Amazing. That's a good way to put it. I like that analogy.